had an Underground Railroad from Kentucky that went across the river to Ohio, and that's why Wilberforce was put in at Xenia, because it's only a few miles from Dayton, and that was about 40 miles from the Ohio River, up from Cincinnati. These people that went into the Alpha Fraternity in the Northeast were their children and grandchildren. Mainly their children. So when Omicron Lambda got started, they did it under adverse conditions. The men that have come through Alpha, Omicron Lambda, like Arthur Shore. Arthur Shore's name is listed as one of the founders of Omicron Lambda, but he was really a student at Talladega. And they needed someone to represent the only other Alpha chapter in the state of Alabama to be at the initiation. That's why Arthur Shore and Noah Wills got in the car, and they tell me the story that it took them all day to come from Talladega to Birmingham, because there was no bridge over the Coosa River, and they had to wait for the ferry to come, and you got to line with the other cars and wagons, and by the time you got from the east side of the Coosa to the west side of the Coosa, it was getting dark. And Highway 78 wasn't paved either.
Lord, Lord.
Gravel roads. Then they started putting tar out there. Got a little bit better. But anyway, Arthur Shore's is probably the leading alumnus of Omicron Lambda. It was he, as a lawyer, who started practicing in the very middle of the Great Depression, 1937. He had been the principal at Abrams High School. Back during that time, it was known as Dunbar. And he would act as the principal at Dunbar during the daytime, and he'd come to his office in the Masonic Temple building in the afternoon, and he'd be a lawyer in the afternoon and early evening. No other black was a lawyer during that time except E.A. Brown. I told you about him. Arthur Shore had enough gumption, enough manhood, enough fortitude, and enough belief in the Constitution for him to take civil rights cases, and he was a marked man. He was a marked man by the plan. One of his early civil rights cases was a case known as Steele versus the Southern Railroad. That was one of the very first equal employment opportunities cases. There was no equal employment opportunities commission. He took that case because Mr. Steele was a fireman, and he ran the train for the white engineer who just sat over there and read the paper and went to sleep. He shoveled the coal in the furnace, took care of the throttles, he watched the signs, he kept the engine running, slowed it down, he stopped it in the station. But he got paid as a fireman when he was doing the work of the engineer. Mr. Shore won that case. And the next case that he had was a case involving Mary Mead Monk. She bought a house a couple of years after the end of the Second World War. Have you ever gone on Center Street and looked from the project north? If you look on the right-hand side of that street, except for where the Catholic Church was built, and that church wasn't built until the 1980s, there was a 50-foot strip from East Center Street back over, a 50-foot strip, where you did not build on if you were a black man. And you could not buy anything on the west side of that street. So the house that Mary Mead Monk bought or wanted to buy was on the west side, and that house is still standing there today. It's between 9th Avenue and 10th Avenue. On the west side of Center Street, it's a little white wood house that is in disrepair today.
New papers in their house.
Yeah. She moved in that house one morning, and that night, boom, they blew it up. I was sleeping up at our house. We lived on Eden Ridge, and this is on the same rock formation and strata as it is all the way through Eden Ridge. Eden Ridge runs from Chattanooga down to Bethel. Same strata. That house blew up, started shaking. You could hear it, you could feel it. Arthur Shores represented Arthur Marine Lucy, integrated University of Alabama. I got another story I could tell you, but I'm taking too long.
No, take your time, bro. Take your time.
Arthur Shores represented Arthur E. Lucy, and he couldn't get her into University of Alabama until Thurgood Marshall, Constance Baker Motley, and Bob Carter came down from the NAACP's legal defense fund. Took her down to Alabama. The day that she enrolled, they were demonstrating against her. They almost had a riot down there, and the trustees voted to expel her. And Mr. Shores was chairman of the trustee board at Talladega. I was a senior at Talladega, and they brought her down to Talladega, and Mr. Shores told us, boys, y'all protect her. We didn't have one gun. No bullets. Nothing. We would sit on the wall. Battle Street was the main street in town. Ran east and west. Talladega was up on the hill. Town's down here. And the white boys would ride through that campus. At night, they'd holler out, 2468, we don't want to integrate our Marine, go home. And we'd sit there with little rocks. They probably had guns. But they were apprehensive of us, and we were apprehensive of them, and so they didn't act and we didn't act. He got Arthur Reed finally in school, and she stayed for a little while. But then when he got Vivian Malone, James Hood in school, the night after they went to school, they bombed his house. And they bombed Mr. Shore's house twice. Houston Brown, who was a clerk in my office when I was in the Masonic Temple building, and who, when he graduated from Cumberland Law School, became a partner in my firm, lived across the street from Mr. Shore. His daddy was Major Brown, football coach at Park. When that house exploded, it knocked bricks off of the Brown house. And they had an awning out front, and it sent it, instead of looking south, looked east. Arthur Shores was a brother, and he was a very, very good man. Richard Arrington and I spoke last night at UAB, and we spoke for Herschel Hamilton's wife's group, and we are interested in young blacks learning to read. I don't know what has happened in the Board of Education, but it looks as though this group of young blacks, I don't know whether or not they have not taught them the ABCs, because they can't read. And the reason why you have all the crime in this city is because these young boys can't read their lesson and they drop out. And if you don't have a high school diploma, you can't get a job. If you can't get a job, you've got to live, you've got to eat. So what do? They start stealing and they start selling dope. And if they sell dope, they're going to use some of the money, and they don't have the money to be the distributor, so they sell it for the man. And if he can't pay that man his money, that man's going to kill him. That's the code of the street. Once they get out there, they have one of two choices. They either go to the penitentiary for the next 20 years, or they die. And if you continue to have this happening, you are not going to have any more black folks. You got to have a black man and a black woman to have a child. Continue, don't you? If they're in penitentiary, they can't do anything, can they? We got to do something about reading. And so I went out to New Hope School with about 6 folks from United Way yesterday morning, because they have named a society of United Way for J. Mason Day. And I told them that if they're going to use my name, the money that goes into that society has to go to the training of young blacks to learn to read and write.
Excellent.
They're doing a great job in New Hope. An investment at a place called Fraternity is Bender operating. She's teaching those kids the alphabet, how each letter sounds, how you can use the letters and put them together and then form a word. They know the words, they can tell you the colors, they can tell you the objects that are associated with each one of those words, and these are 3-year-old children. A child can learn to read when he's 3. I've got a piece of paper on the wall in my office that I put into a frame that has the ABCs around the edge, 1 to 10 written in the middle, and my name signed, and my mother wrote on that, scribbling at the age of 3. If I can learn it at 3, they can do it. We've got to do it. Otherwise, you're not going to have any Omicron Lambda. You're not going to have any Rho Lambda. You're not going to have any Epsilon Lambda. You're not going to have any Alpha Beta. Richard Arrington learned to read and write. He became the dean at Miles. He taught at UAB. He also took care of the course, that took care of the various schools in the state of Alabama, colleges in the state of Alabama, and he's interested in it too. He's a member of this chapter. These are the things that this chapter has done. Some of them. Back in the 20s, the aim of this fraternity was go to high school, go to college. After then, the theme was vote. Register and vote. With the passage of the Voting Rights Act of 1965, you didn't have to go up to the courthouse and take a literacy exam anymore. Federal registrars were sent down here by Lyndon Johnson, and blacks were in line, and they became voters in wholesale numbers. We got 180-some thousand blacks in the city of Birmingham that are registered to vote. They are the cause of the passage of the change in the form of government that I told you about earlier. And they are the reason why we have a Democratic Party Senator, Doug Jones. Trump, well, I don't need to go into that. But I challenge you to go and look on Netflix. Y'all got Netflix on your television? Huh?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Look at that. There's a 4-episode story in there called The Family. And it tells you why the Senate voted to acquit Trump of impeachment. Look at it.
The family.
You may think that you're strong, but you're going to get scared. Because the family is nothing more than a fraternity. Like the Klan said they're protecting Jesus. This group says that they're protecting Jesus too. And they're out for one thing, power. Those 50 members of the Senate, 53, 52 because Senator from Utah voted with the Democrats. Those 52 are probably members. And they are pledged to him. What's going on in this country today is only done through Trump because he's the president. He's a puppet for others who got far more money than Trump has. If you look at Trump's income tax, if you ever get to that point, you'll see that he's mortgaged to the hill and having to work. He's doing